myself on an island. ADHD story time. A friend of mine invited me on a 7-mile trail run on Catalina Island with a group of his friends. Now, I'm a fit guy, but I don't do a lot of running. I don't like it. So I said, yeah, great, I'm in. To train for the run, I went out and bought a pair of running shoes because I didn't own any. And that was it. We took a ferry to Catalina Island, and I had never been before. The first thing that struck me was how hilly it was. Our trail was about 3.5 miles to a rest stop and then back the same direction. The run there was difficult but uneventful, and I was able to keep up with the group for the most part. We took a break, had a snack, and then the run back. Right away, I began to cramp up. I would try to run, get a cramp in my right leg, walk it off, try to run, get a cramp in my left leg, try to walk it off, repeat, repeat, repeat. Meanwhile, I watched the rest of my pack disappear over the horizon. Eventually, it got to a point where I realized at this rate, I am going to miss my ferry back home. So I decided to just pick up the pace and push through, and my body said no. What happened next, I had never experienced anything like before in my life, but suddenly every single muscle on the lower half of my body cramped up simultaneously, and my legs straightened out like a corpse, and I fell backwards like a tree, landed straight on my back and head. As I laid there, moaning in pain, looking up at the sky, contemplating every decision in my life that had led me to this moment, I pulled out my phone and decided to give Jason a call and let him know of my circumstance, but I had no reception. Right then, I felt something strange in my stomach, and it wasn't like I had this but more like I had to evacuate everything inside of my body out of my asshole. Fortunately, at this point, the cramping had subsided a little bit and I was able to get to my feet. Unfortunately for me, I was also at the very peak of a hill and very visible from both sides of the trail. Fortunately, because it was so late in the day and I was so far from the ferry at the moment, I only had to wait for one group of hikers to disappear before I could get this terrible thing out of my body. Couldn't exactly walk at this point, so I shuffled myself off the trail and exploded onto a bush. I didn't bring any toilet paper, so I had to retire my underwear, which now serves as a warning to other hikers to stay on the trail. With that business done, I made my way back to the trail and shuffled along until eventually I could make my rescue call. And a short time thereafter, Baywatch appeared on a quad to pick me up. I arrived back at the dock minutes before the last ferry departed for the day, and made it home safe and sound and without underwear.